Welcome to RecFest 2025, Nashville, Tennessee. I'm with the Juice Box. This is the podcast. Get involved. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day one of RecFest Nashville 2025. I'm thrilled to have Tasia Reeves as my first guest over here.
Hi.
Finally.
I know.
Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a long time coming, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we go way back on LinkedIn and been following each other for a bit. What I love about you is your unapologetic take to speaking what you truly feel is in your heart and in your mind. Whether people like it or not, whether people agree with it or not, you stand by what you say and you back it up.
Yeah, I believe that if you cannot change your mind, what good is being a human? And if you don't believe in something, you will fall for everything.
I do love that. Have you found in your LinkedIn, listen, there's a lot of trolls out there on the internet, and listen, when you put yourself out there like you do, you're going to get haters, right? And you're going to get a lot of negative comments, and there's lots of keyboard warriors out there, but have you turned somebody from a troll into a friend? I think.
No, I've turned people from being friends to a troll, though.
Oh, no. When we talk to Tim folks and most and recruiters at TA, like, but you're not going to, you said the thing, you're not going to change everybody. And not everybody is meant to be your friend. Not everyone is meant to be connected to you. But let's talk a little bit about your journey.
Yep.
And you work at a little company called Amazon. And let's just caveat that Tila's not speaking on behalf of Amazon right now. Did I say that okay?
Yes, you did it great.
From a legal perspective, we need to put in this thing right now.
No, I think, you did great.
So I want to talk about your journey. And keep it straight here. You started in recruitment. And now you're in product. Let's talk about that journey.
Yeah, it was a long journey. When I started at Amazon, I was recruiting product managers, and what I knew about product management at Amazon really intrigued me. So I became best friends with some of my hiring managers, and I started talking to them, and I was like, hey, how do I get to where you are from where I am? And because I had some great hiring managers that I built great relationships with, they gave me the path to get here. They're like, do this, do this, do this. Keep producing the content that you're producing, keep talking about things. And this opportunity specifically intrigued me because I still am in the TA recruiting space, but I'm doing something that I really wanted to do in the product space.
So let's unpack that a little bit because I'm curious. So are you working on an internal product that helps with TA? What exactly are you working on? As much as you could share, like top secret detail thing there. Yeah, spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, so I market the products, the changes, policies, or whatever you have to the TA folks, to HRBPs, recruiters, any changes that they need to know in their day-to-day work life. I talk to them about that, whether it's an email, whether it's a notification, whatever it is, I create the content that gets to them.
I find it fascinating because any good recruiter, we talked about this a little earlier with ice cream sandwiches, it's being curious.
Yeah.
And the personal side, being curious and not judgmental. I personally think that being curious is the strongest take. Because when you're talking to a candidate, you're genuinely curious. Are you a naturally curious person?
I would say I'm a naturally curious person. I have this fun story if I can share. My husband and I went to Spain for our honeymoon after we got married, and we were at this castle, and there was a red button, and I just was like, "Ooh, button!" And I just kept going to all of the buttons. So I'm a naturally curious person of what does this do? What does this do? Let me understand how things work or how people. What makes you tick, or what makes somebody say yes or no to something?
What motivates you is what the TA.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the Amazon process a little bit. What drew you to Amazon initially, and how long have you been there for?
I have been there for a little over 4 years, and Amy Miller drew me to Amazon, to be perfectly honest.
Amy Miller.
She made it sound like a cool place to work, despite of the things that I had heard, and it's been a cool place to work from my experience. I never thought I was big enough or good enough for Amazon, for a big fish like Amazon, and when they hired me, I was like, yes.
Look, for anyone out there, I hear it's a gauntlet, the Amazon process. Much as you're open to sharing, what's that process like?
Yeah, so, and I can...
Tips along the way, right?
Yes.
They would apply to any of the roles.
So
A lot of different roles in departments and divisions and subsect and all that.
yeah, I'll talk for what I've recruited, which is corporate hiring. Corporate hiring is a beast of itself. You go through a couple different steps. You apply, you likely have an assessment, then you do a recruiter phone screen, a phone screen with the hiring manager or someone of the hiring team, a technical phone screen, and then like the final interview. Now, the final interview is the one that people like is called daunting. It is 4 to 5 hours long. You're meeting.
5 hours. It's like a Joe Rogan podcast. Right?
I have not heard Joe Rogan's podcast, but I believe you. So, and like each hour is somebody different, and it's like 4 or 5 different people. Yeah. And one of them is what we call a bar raiser. This is public knowledge. A bar raiser is a neutral third party ensuring that you are making the right hiring decision, that you are not just thinking about your team and filling that role.
So is this person going to make the team better?
Yes.
Right? They're not. You're raising the bar. You're taking it up a notch. And what are some of the lines of questions? What are some type of questions that one would ask to see if someone's raising the bar?
So at Amazon, again, public knowledge, we believe that past behaviors dictate future actions. So we asked a lot of behavioral based questions. Tell me about a time when this happened. Tell me about a time when this happened. So it's a lot of like, what have you done? And it's you specifically, not your team, not like anybody else. Tell us about what you've done because we are hiring you and not your team.
Fascinating. And did you feel like you had a little bit of an inside track when you were making that move from recruiting over to product? Like, I did. What they're going to ask over here.
I did.
I'm sure you had trepidation and you had to practice and you had to plan it out of it.
Yeah, and I spoke to people that had made career switches within Amazon into the product space, into the program space. And I'm like, tell me how you did it. Tell me what kind of questions I need to prepare for. Tell me about what are they going to look for, right? And I think that is like, I had like a little bit of an upper hand because I was like, I had that available resource, the resource available for me to ask the questions. Yeah.
And plus you had the wind behind your back, or the wind, your sail, where you were naturally being migrated into that type of role. Did you ever think you were getting into product? Like your background is in CA.
Yeah.
But you spend so much time interviewing folks that you got interested because you're curious. That's such a cool pivot.
Yeah, I never thought I was going to be into product. I've always enjoyed recruiting. I think we talked a little bit about it. With my ADHD, recruiting gave me enough stability, monotony, and curiosity to do all three, like to be able to
balance them.
Yeah.
Wait, let's pause on that. I want to dig into this one here. You kind of hit the nail on the head. There's parts of recruiting that are monotonous because it's a process.
Yep.
It's a process from sourcing, from screening to outreach, all those elements in there too, but you need to have a process.
Yeah.
That's how you stay productive at it. And then you get into the part where the curiosity comes in, which I think interviews. But even at that point, for certain roles, that can become anonymous at times also. And I found as a recruiter, and that's why we're connected, because we're both naturally curious people. The more you learn about a person during that interview, the more you learn about their motivations. And I don't know if you found this too, but I've actually talked people out of first.
I have too.
No, it's not going to help them the more you talk to them.
Yeah, I have talked people out of, especially because I live in Arizona, and when I talk to them, especially when they're trying to relocate, I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound like you are going to like Arizona. And they're like, you are supposed to talk me into this role. I'm like, not if it's a wrong decision for you. Right? Why would I want to do that? Yeah.
And I think it's such a misconception out there that, and first we have to separate between agency recruiters and internal recruiters too. Listen, even myself as an agency recruiter, yes, I want to earn that commission. Yes, I want to, get that person into the seat, but not at the expense of them being unhappy, with the client being unhappy, with them having a misalignment. And that really comes down to motivations. Have you learned any tips and tricks along the way during your day of recruitment to really assess someone's motivations?
Yeah.
More of a live conversation.
Yeah, I see how curious they are. I talk to them about their curiosities, what are they interested in, right? Like I go from a curious perspective, so they become curious oftentimes for the most part. And I will ask them, one of the questions that I ask, especially when people are relocating for a job, I'm like, have you spoken to your spouse about this?
No, just gonna sling it on them last minute. Hey,
Has
babe,
happened.
it's narrowing down. But I like it here.
Yeah. So to find out their motivation, I often talk to them curiously and just ask them why or how or what. Like the WH questions, they're the simplest questions. It doesn't have to be complicated. Ask them the 5 WH questions and you will understand most things.
I love that. So let's talk tech a little bit here. What brings you to RecFest?
So I am speaking tomorrow. I'm speaking on how the topic is called Beyond the Resume, how AI can change recruiters' life. And my perspective is how recruiters can adopt slowly but surely AI to make their lives better. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek because this is into my exclusive.
Fair talk.
um, AI is not going to replace recruiters. Recruiters that use AI are going to replace recruiters that don't use AI.
Yes. So my tagline that I will add on top of it is use it as a tool, not a crutch.
Exactly.
We could literally just scan around. We're
Yeah.
gonna do is we're not gonna panic around here. I see every company here slapping AI onto the back of their
Yep.
team here. And the truth is, first question is if you're out there as a vendor, I mean if you're out there as a customer looking, you really need to understand what the AI is. You need to understand the difference between first and third party data. And you need to understand if your company really needs this tool. And more importantly, if we go out and make the investment in this tool, are we actually going to use it and implement it
Yeah.
more properly?
Exactly.
What I find is that so many companies bring it on board and they force it upon their recruiters, and they're like, "Oh my God, is this going to take my job? Are you replacing me with the technology here?" So, all right, let's get into the tech side here. I want your take. We'll do it in a hot take style here.
Okay.
The good, the bad, and the ugly of the AI tech in general across the board here. What have you seen from a product feature standpoint? Your product now.
Yep.
What's working? What's not working?
I will say that I will be more general here. The ones that I've seen that are good are the ones that know what their AI product does for the recruiters or for the talent acquisition folks. The bads are the ones that are like, oh, we have AI. And I'm like, what does it do? And they're like, well, it helps you solve your talent acquisition problem. How?
What's our problem?
Yeah, it goes back to curiosity. I ask them how or what does it do, and they cannot answer that question. And the ugly, I think, is a lot of the ones that I've seen, they're just slapping AI on top of the existing platform, and that's not AI. Chatbots are good, but chatbots are not always AI. So if this then that statement, I think, is where the bad and the ugly comes in. It's just a basic if this then that coding statement that they have implemented.
Really true AI.
Yeah, and
Even borderline machine learning that it's not even true.
yep.
Not even true AI at that standpoint.
No, and the good ones or the excellent ones that I've seen are truly focused on how recruiters can use it, how talent acquisition can use it, and how candidates can benefit from it.
Well, let's turn the page on that one too. So, the big topic du jour out there is, okay, if I'm a candidate, if companies are using AI from a screening and sourcing perspective, then why can't I use AI as a candidate? The problem that I see, because I'm an in the trenches recruiter there, is that they're overly relying on these tools to basically take a job description and jam in skills and keywords that they may not have, and that is detrimental
Yep.
to your candidacy.
Yep. Absolutely. I will say that that is the number one thing whenever I speak to a job seeker. It's not that we don't want you to use AI. We want you to use AI in a good manner. Use AI as a starting point, just like we're using AI as a starting point. And AI has not gotten to the point where we can just leave it be and take the output and be like, okay, we're done.
No, set it and forget it right
No. So, and I think that's where candidates are not understanding that they need to take the output and then continue to customize, continue to develop their resume, their answers, their responses.
It's kind of the same about how companies are using it too. It's not set it and forget it.
Yeah.
It's continuous learning, evolving, iterations, tweaking the system. And that's kind of where I'm at a little bit with the agentic AI. And so, side note, Juicebox has a great agentic AI tool that they use. But what I find, it works for some roles. If you're doing high volume, lower level roles, because you can mass source.
Yep.
But when it comes to the higher level roles that are more specific and they're more niche, I need to be at the point of hitting the send button, of engaging a candidate to know that they're right. Otherwise, it's my, lack of a better word, reputation on the line.
Exactly. And I agree there. When I first got into tech recruiting, one of my mentors took me aside and said, do not confuse Java and JavaScript. You will lose 90% of your tech candidates.
No, different.
Yeah. So I think that when we're talking about low volume high recruiting, the kind that I used to do at Amazon before I stepped into this role, it's a lot about the human touch. It is about, I couldn't send them an agentic AI and be like, hey, answer these questions. I had to speak to them. I still have to speak to them. Some of my friends that are still in the recruiting department and are sourcing, they tell us that there are great tools, but they can't use it because it's a high touch service.
You can't use it. I mean, I use a tool like Juicebox to exponentially improve my efficiency from a search perspective, from narrowing it down. But then I'm still doing manual searches because of the level of roles that I'm working.
Yeah.
And if I'm able to use a tool again as a tool and not a crutch, it's going to make me a better recruiter, so I can spend more time with the human side of it. So I want to switch gears a little bit here. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog is not a sandwich. That is my hot take.
Why is a hot dog? Why not?
Because what is a sandwich?
A sandwich is anything in between two slices of bread.
2 slices of bread. Hot dog is a single slice. It's like a taco.
Well, this is where it gets so let's roll in that. I see your point there around, is a taco a sandwich?
No.
A taco is non-bread, it's a tortilla, leavened bread, so you could kind of go back and forth on that too. And sometimes a hot dog bun could get split into two, but my take is it is a sandwich. Just depends how you look at it. And we can agree to disagree on this one. But all right, let's just
Wait. If hot dog was a sandwich, it wouldn't need a new name. It wouldn't need its own name. It would just be called a broth sandwich or a broth sandwich. It would be called a panini sandwich. We are not, no, you can have a panini dog, but because we call it a hot dog, just like we call it a burger,
but a hamburger
sandwich. Technically.
Well, it's something between, now if your classification is 2 slices of bread,
Hamburgers is a sandwich, yeah, 100%. But a hot dog is not a sandwich, and that is my hot take. Come at me.
Let's speak with a guy on a salad or a soup.
That is.
It is a side.
This borscht.
It's a known thing.
Well, we digress. Pro tip for any of the job seekers out there: we all know it's a brutal market right now, and the frustration is real, the anxiety is real, the stress is real. There's so many good people that are out of work. And I'm seeing from my side that, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And they keep hammering the same applications. They keep doing it. What could they do from a mindset perspective and a tactical perspective to change up their job search and see some results?
I tell this to my friends. I tell this to my job seekers when they have been laid off. I tell this to everybody. Have a burnout plan. Whatever it is, have a burnout plan. I spoke to a candidate once, and she had just found out that she got let go that day. And I'm like, go eat a donut. Go take a walk. Go drink some tea. Yeah, do something that is going to get you out of this mindset, because this is not your fault. There's nothing you could do to avoid this. It was meant to happen. And I tell job seekers the same thing. Have a burnout plan. Doing, like you said, definition of insanity, whatever it is. I'm a non-judgmental person. Go do whatever you need to do to get out of this space of constant rejection, because right now the job search is constant rejection, and you cannot take it personally.
I absolutely love it here. So you'll do one more hot take.
Sure.
Let's go to the hot take list here, because this is a good one here. Open to work banner, hurtful or harmful, helpful or harmful on LinkedIn?
They are helpful. LinkedIn's own data tells us that they're helpful. And if you think that they're hurtful, I'm going to be a judgmental person here, you need to find a different career.
That's right. Peditto, thank you so much for joining us. Where could folks find you? Where could they connect? Where could they learn more?
I'm on LinkedIn for the most part. Follow me on LinkedIn. Ask me questions. I'm going to start posting again here shortly, now that I'm past the first 9 months of motherhood. But yeah, find all my hot takes on LinkedIn.
And congrats on the new edition.
Thank you.
How has motherhood changed your perspective on work-life balance? Sorry, I removed that from my vocabulary. I have to correct myself. I will edit that later. Work-life harmony. How do you balance it all?
Motherhood has taught me that not everything I thought was important is actually important. And the work is still going to be here tomorrow.
Yep.
And the most important thing in my life is my child. And she comes first. And my family comes first. And everything else, I will still perform at my utmost capability, but nothing comes before my family or my baby.
Love that perspective. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you, Adam.
Awesome. We are back. We're back with Aubrey Cirillo. She's the director of TA at Custom Ink. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you been with Custom Ink?
Almost 15 years.
Whoa, hold the phone there. Did you hear that? Someone's actually been at a company more than 3 years?
Yes.
Were you always in TA, or is this was this your first job?
No, it was not my first job. It was
What was
my
your first
escape from
job?
banking. I did not want to be in banking.
Oh, wow.
And I took a leap and moved across the country to do sales.
So you went from banking to sales. What was that pivot like for you?
It was fun. I worked an evening shift. I got to sell t-shirt swag to great people and then got to advance my career. I met my husband at Custom Ink.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. So did they encourage workplace romance, or just was there some happy hours maybe?
They don't condone it. We moved departments,
Right.
and we both are still there. He's been there almost 20 years.
That's incredible. And what do you love about working at Custom Ink?
The people.
Okay, let's double down on it.
Yeah.
What specifically about the people?
They are very inspiring. They're willing to listen and lean in and help others develop and evolve. And they genuinely care about what we're doing and what we're putting out in the world.
So you've been in TA for how long of those 15 years?
6.
So you're relatively new. So how did you and why did you pivot from sales into recruiting?
I felt like I could have more impact in bringing talent in to make an influence on what we're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's t-shirts, it's fun, it's not life and death, but
It's still a company that needs to
Yeah.
staff with the right people.
and we're doing it to bring people together, right? You want to be connected to something, and swag helps that.
How did you learn the art and science of recruiting?
Trial and error.
Like most of us, we F around and find out, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you read people.
What was the most surprising part? Like we have a lot. Keep me straight here. It's one of these professions that everybody thinks they could do because they've had a job before. But what was that misconception that got demythed once you got into the role?
You have to be able to sell at the end of the day.
It's a sale. It is a sales job, but it shouldn't have to be a hard sell. It should be storytelling along the way.
Genuine. You have to be authentic and understand what matters to the other person on the other end.
And it's really about understanding motivation. So, did you have a mentor? Did you have someone to show you the ropes? Shout out.
I did.
Yeah.
I would say Isaac Johnson helped me really learn how to read people, how to ask the right questions, how to listen, and then tell my own story back.
That's it. Say that last part again. Tell your own story back. What does that mean?
Share what, my learnings, my failures, understand the opportunities I've had and how to empower myself to leverage that and not rely on someone else to do it for me.
Oh, that's a good one there. So let's talk
Yeah.
a little bit about role clarity. How do you make sure that hiring aligns with a real business goal and not just filling seats?
Yeah, I challenge my managers to tell me if they weren't in the role, how their business area would fail. Like, why are they actually important? What are they going to drive? Because we're not just filling seats.
Right. And you have to change. Let's take a step back. How many recruiters are on the team?
2,
Okay. Generally speaking, on average, how many open recs do you have?
20 to 40.
Got it. And are those roles a mix, I'm assuming, between production, corporate, marketing, sales, a little bit of everything? So
Yeah.
do these recruiters have to recruit across all of the roles, or are they specialized?
Across all.
And so let's keep that line of questioning going. How do you coach your team to be able to pivot? 1 minute I'm talking to someone who's in production versus someone who's in marketing versus someone who's in tech.
Yeah.
hard within
It is.
internal
It's a lot
teams.
of context switching. I really encourage them to shadow team members that are in the role so that they can actually speak confidently about what the day in the life will look like and the work looks like versus just reading the job description. Anybody can do that.
Well, it's such a competitive advantage too about being in-house versus agency. You can experience, you can sit side by side, or if it's done remotely,
Yep.
really shadow somebody and you know what their day-to-day is like. So when you get on the phone with those candidates, you could tell the story. Let's talk a little bit about sourcing. What's in your current tech stack from a sourcing perspective?
Yeah, so we have LinkedIn. We use Gem. We use just kind of like the AI tips and tricks behind the scenes to do some outreach. We do a lot of confidential rec posting. So we use our network, our senior leadership team will reach out and we try to use that. We tap into our investors, like our board of investors, to tap their markets and reach. And we found that, especially now when you open something, you're going to get thousands, and the power of networking is so much stronger.
It's such an interesting time that we live in because in some states you have to post a job even if you're hiring internally. But what is happening now, there's so many folks that are out of work, plus the advent of all these auto apply, that it's cumbersome. So companies are looking for ways to be more strategic and more intentional with hiring than just a job posting. But at the same time, you want to be fair and equitable to open it up. It's a tough balancing act. Where do you kind of stand on this?
I'm always pro like the broader the net, the better, because there's always hidden gems in there.
Isn't that creating more work for your team to sift through all the applications?
Yes, and we're leveraging AI to help us pinpoint, keywords or skills we're looking for, but never screening out, like we still have the human touch in there. We're not using it to disposition anyone automatically.
How are you ensuring that you're using the tools to give more time for that human connection?
We're tracking, like we're using metrics to track and understand how long someone's sitting, how long, someone is waiting for a response, and being able to gut check that through the process to say like, AI said this skill was strong. Is it pulling through? Is everyone on the interview team feeling that or not? And then course correcting.
Let's talk about course correcting. When was the last time that you either tried something or had a hypothesis that didn't work out and you're like, you know what? I tried it. It didn't work. Let's pivot.
Yeah, we tried some outreach with the texting, and you would think it'd be great. We didn't master the outreach messaging piece, and it all went to like spam, or people thought it was fraud.
Right, it's report as spam, unsubscribe, and that is it's thinking the unsolicited text. It could go either way because you don't know if it's real. Like if I got a text from a recruiter, I'm like this is bullshit, right? Like this is just not real. Let's talk for a moment about scalable hiring and how do you scale hiring without losing that personal touch? What we're talking about.
Yeah.
How do you give your team the time to infuse empathy, to infuse the human side of it?
We've been leveraging the actual teams that are hiring and asking for their support. If they're prioritizing the talent that they need in their teams, we're skilling up them to be part of our team and ambassadors so that if it's a volume-driven role, that they can step in and also be a recruiter screener as needed so that we're not wasting time. And if it's important to them, their leaders are making it important too.
Not on my list of questions here. I was talking about it with Heather Colvin, a past guest I had on this morning. How do you ensure the communication and trust between the talent team and hiring managers? Because there's always been that kind of riff, and obviously the best teams are the ones that are in sync.
Yeah. We meet with our teams even when they don't have a hiring need.
Ooh, this is an interesting tactic. Let's unpack that a little bit. So the standing meeting needs to stand.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a role, you should be understanding what's happening in the business, what's coming down the pipeline.
Exactly. What's on their roadmap? What's the biggest project? What's their recent win? Where are they having challenging pain points? What do they think the next growth opportunity is? So we can also pipeline and think ahead for them and be a business partner.
I love that. Like empowering your recruiters to be more ingrained into the business. And it goes to the job title that I love of the last few years, which is HRBP. Like how do you enable your recruiters to be more strategic? How do you empower them to be part of the business, that they're not just filling seats? Aubrey, let's talk a little bit about equity and accountability. What are some of the practical ways you're driving fairness and accountability in hiring decisions?
Yeah, we are making sure that our leaders are continuously tapping into their own unconscious bias and having those really hard conversations. We're asking why they're saying no and digging deep if they're not clear. If they can't put words to it, there's probably a problem behind that. And then putting different candidates in front of them to really challenge and compare and contrast so that they are seeing the differences and kind of calling out their pain points.
That's a real interesting one too, kind of doing like it's almost like a blind taste test.
Yes.
Right? And really seeing if unconscious biases, we all have it. It doesn't mean you're inherently a racist or a bad person. We all have different life experiences. We all brought up different ways. And it's just our collective life experiences that inform our decisions. And sometimes they need a little recalibration. That's what I like to call it here.
I like that too.
Well, let's get into the fun stuff here. Let's do a little. Oh no, let's start with the not fun stuff. No, I'm kidding there too. What secret weapon boosts your productivity as a recruiter?
Ooh, that's
productivity.
a good question.
Well, the productivity.
I don't know. I think it's really protecting my time, like being really strategic and like giving myself the space to do the work. Because if I let the calendar control me, my work doesn't get done.
It really is about time management. I learned this from Dave Meltzer, to be a student of your calendar. And what I like to do as a recruiter, as best as possible, because I want to give candidates a time.
Yeah.
I actually don't use Calendly. I like to give candidates specific times that I know fit into my energy flow of the day.
Yeah.
Right? Like I know I don't like to do candidate calls after 4 p.m. I'm brain drained. It's not like really, best that I'm feeling. Yeah. I like to do them first thing in the morning. If it works for them, great. But now I'm controlling my time, and I like to stack them.
Yes.
Then I'm in the call zone, right?
Yes.
It's boom, boom, next one, and I'm using all my tools. I'm using all my note takers at the same time, and then I can shift and time block sourcing. I could time block admin. I could
Yes.
time block my things there. So let's do hot or not to wrap it up here. Open to work banner. Helpful or harmful?
I think it's somewhat helpful, but I also think the best candidates aren't the ones always looking, or they're not willing to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think sometimes you find people that are more willing to listen and learn and realize they're ready for a new opportunity.
Ooh, I like that. What's harder, sourcing or closing candidates?
Sourcing. I think
It's a
because
chicken and egg question.
I think sourcing is in the sense that you got to be able to hook them, or you get more like false responses or ghosting. Whereas like, I think if you're already got them on the hook, you should be selling the whole way. So a closing should be easier.
Always be closing, ABC.
Always.
Internal referrals, yay or nay?
That's a mixed bag. I think everyone thinks their people are great, but then the
Come
skill
on,
set
my
isn't
friend.
there. You know, like great people know
Your friend's a
great
jerk.
people.
What if your friend's a
but
jerk?
They don't always have the skills.
You
So
you don't always have the skills.
yeah,
AI interviewing, yay or nay?
I'm testing it. So I'm still on my verdict, not in yet.
Verdict is not in yet. And last but not least, is a hot dog a sandwich?
I don't like hot dogs.
And there you go, folks. Aubrey, where can folks find you? Where can they connect? Where can they learn more?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can check my profile out. I'm also available if you just reach out at careers@customing.com.
Aubrey Cirillo, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you.
Awesome. Everybody, we have a full circle moment here. And I love full circle moments because we close the loop here. I'm here with Heather Colvin. Heather, officially, welcome to the podcast.
Pleasure to be here. Absolutely a full circle moment. A couple years ago, we got to meet in real life. That for me was
VCon.
such a highlight for me. And I even
No one's
went
ever
back-
said that, by the way.
Oh my gosh, I went back and told my family about it. It is still a story that my son reminds me of. That whenever I'm having days when I'm just not sure, he's like, "You remember that moment that you met that guy at VCon and how excited you were?" He's like, "Maintain that energy."
I wish my family got this excited to see me as Heather does. So Heather, tell everyone who you are and what you do best.
Yeah, so Heather Colvin, senior technical recruiter. I work for a company called Smart Data. We're a software consulting firm. We help clients. We have an in-house development team. We project them out to clients for project support. And then additionally, I help clients hire, whether it's contract to hire, or direct hire, all throughout the U.S.
Well, how long you been in the space for?
I've been in this space for going on 7 years now. So I'm almost a decader, which is going to be exciting. when
I just hit mine last year. I was like, I've been
Congrats.
I've been recruiting for a decade. I've been doing this longer than I've done other jobs for.
Yes.
What drew you to this? Sorry, what did you do previously?
Yeah, so previously I was in a tech support role.
Mhm.
And so I just kind of, what I think helped me with my pivot into recruiting is tech support is very high volume of problem solving and really thinking outside of my own narrative to understand the end client's needs. And so that has allowed me to transition over. And so I didn't know at the time when I did a career pivot, I was actually laid off from the company I was at for almost 11 years. And that's what generated the career pivot. But at the same time, I'm a faith person. So I was praying to God, I want to be put in a place where my creativity has no ceiling. And I was doing, it's actually on my Facebook, like years before I even landed here. And that memory pops up. And here I am in a career, no creativity ceiling, and I'm doing my thing.
I've never thought about it like that. Let's dig in a little bit. There's no creativity ceiling in recruiting because we have an end goal.
Mm-hmm.
How you get there, aside from the technical elements, that's up to us. How do we unpack a candidate's motivation? How do we assess if it is a good, and I use the word fit loosely here. Everyone knows I don't like the F word, but meaning like, is it the right role for them? And also being able to tell them, you know what, I like you, but this role is not right for you because I don't want to push you into something that you're going to be miserable at.
Absolutely.
But having the creative bandwidth to get down that road and to get to the finish line one way or another.
Right, the creativity and the outreach, the creativity and the conversation.
Recruitment marketing, putting yourself out there, talent
100%.
attraction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're all here at RecFest. You know, this is to expand our creative thought. What are we not thinking about that we
Hi,
should
ladies.
be thinking about? And, you know, where should we expand from there when it comes to creating even more success within our own funnel, our own pipeline?
Love it. So let's get technical here. And you talk about bridging the trust gap between recruiters and hiring managers. I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yes.
Let's take a step back a little bit. This is a systemic problem. It's not every company, it's not everywhere, but there is that gap. If anyone out there, what is usually that disconnect between the recruiter and the hiring manager?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the shared knowledge aspect. It's why we need to take time to be intentional about understanding the department that we're supporting and their why, and really making sure that we hone in on what they're doing from from a true technical perspective. And that doesn't just mean technical recruiting. It means technical as in, if you're in finance, what are the problems that they're solving within their department? How are they doing that? Where do they start? Where are they going? What are they doing today? And being able to have that type of layer of communication so the hiring manager has trust that you understand what to do with it and then how to support it.
What are some on-the-ground tactics to build that trust between the recruiter and the hiring manager?
So we're in a blessed state right now where ChatGPT was launched, and that's my go-to now. I used to have to feed through Google and hope I found a credible source that was going to give me good information, or I would actually go interview with people that I would hire for just to get knowledge gap.
Right, that's how I learned about jobs too, by interviewing candidates and being open with them.
Open with them. This is what I know. This is what I don't know. Can you help me close this knowledge gap? Why does this work? How does this not work? And so what I get to do now is be proactive in that. I go to ChatGPT and I prompt it to help me better understand what it is that I'm doing, and it closes my current knowledge gaps. And then I still get expansive on those because I'm in the weeds.
Heather, how do you trust and verify when you're using GPT?
I trust and verify during my call with the talent.
Using that to fact check.
Using that to fact check
Right.
what I learned
That's
from ChatGPT.
That's a pro move for anyone out there. Like, utilize the tools. Obviously, trust, then verify, because it's not always exactly correct.
Correct, because it's still learning, right? It's being fed.
Yeah, the machine is learning.
The information being fed to it sometimes isn't reliable, which is why when Google took off, right, we found credited websites, credited sources. Same thing with ChatGPT. It's not being governed where it's all credited information being poured into it. So you do still have to do your work on the side to figure out who's a credited person I can go to fact check the information I just found.
Love it. And let's keep talking tech for a little bit. What tools are you using for sourcing right now? What's in your tech stack?
Oh, my tech stack is simple, guys. Like, I literally.
Have you tried Juicebox?
Oh, yes. What about?
Have you tried Juicebox?
I haven't tried
Oh, look at
Juicebox. I was looking at what they offer. I'm very interested to understand and explore because I know a lot of folks are. And so they're not in my stack yet, but we are exploring to expand our
Yeah,
stack.
so talk to me. What are you using? Have you evolved? You're still in the 7 years. You're still using LinkedIn Recruiter.
Yeah,
like
still using LinkedIn.
Boolean searches and everything. But what cool tech toys are you trying now?
Yeah, I keep it very simple because the more we have in our toolbox, sometimes when it comes to tools, the less we're actually taking full action on them. And so
absolutely.
Yeah.
The more tools you have, you're not going to use one consistently.
Yeah, exactly. And one tool that I've used is Hire Easy. They've actually done some upgrades that have been very beneficial for me. And so my goal with tools is, what is this current tool, which is our primary is LinkedIn Recruiter, because that's where tech talent is. What is the algorithm bias in LinkedIn Recruiter not showing me? And I need a second tool that's going to help me filter what the LinkedIn algorithm thinks I don't want to see. And I still find talent that is hiding from me.
Well, let's just be very careful when you say the word bias and we say algorithm bias. What does that mean in the LinkedIn world?
Yeah, it's definitely a delicate terms to use, but I don't mind to share it because I think it's important to talk about.
Please.
So algorithm bias. So you and I could do the same exact search with the same exact tools on our computers, and based on the algorithm's opinion about what we're interested in, it's going to show us what it thinks we want to see, and that includes talent. And so I have to use multiple tools to ensure that when I'm doing the search with the same filter, that the algorithm is not choosing to discount people because what it thinks I want to.
Can you retrain the LinkedIn algorithm?
All algorithms can be retrained over time, but because of that,
except my Instagram feed, which is not pleasant.
Well, but now some algorithms,
you can reset it.
Yeah, they take time, but the reality is algorithms cannot be reset to zero. So no matter what, it will always know a previous history of you, which is why it's very important that when you're entry level into this space, to be really intentional about how you set yourself up for the long game.
The internet does not forget. Let's talk about the 72-hour pipeline rule. What is that?
Yes, I love my 72-hour pipeline rule. So I implemented this. I started building this out probably a year and a half ago. And my goal is that when we go into the intake call, that we're very intentional about asking really great questions. And the best way to build trust, going back to that with hiring managers, is to then go take immediate action based on what they gave to me. I give myself 72 hours to present qualified talent in front of them. And that way we can decide then, do we pivot into a different direction, or do we go, or we stay on this course? So that way my team's not wasting time on our actual reactive outreach.
And it makes everyone, listen, there is the speed component in recruiting.
Yes.
It's speed to market, speed to candidate. Listen, you have to assume for any active candidate, not a passive candidate, that if they're interviewing with you, they're interviewing with your competitor.
100%.
Like if they're actively on the market, you're not the only game in town.
Yeah, you're not the only conversation they're having. And also even being transparent with that. Anytime I get someone on the conversation, let's say I'm partnering with a client that uses multi-firms, I'm upfront about that. You may have already spoken with someone about this, but let's go ahead and have a conversation anyway. And so, yeah.
Yeah, Heather, let's take a look around here. What's been exciting you about RecFest? Any particular speakers? Aside from me, anything?
Yes. Well, of course, I was super thrilled that you were coming to this year. You weren't here last year. It was super bummer for me.
It's my wife's birthday. I can't do that.
So I did tell my son about it, full circle moment. And so, yeah, I'm excited to go back and tell him and even show him this because he saw the first one.
Right.
And yeah, Erin Matthew is speaking here today. I really love what she's done. My interest right now is talent acquisition is shifting where we're expanding in the roles that are within our ecosystem. And so we're going into TA technology, a TA researcher. What does that mean? And so I'm curious, like what else is available for us outside of just a sourcer, outside of just the recruiter, right? And so these technologies are opening up our department to get even bigger.
I love that. So let's finish up with some hot takes here. You ready for some hot takes?
Let's do some
hot takes, hot takes, hot takes, hot takes. Open to work banner on LinkedIn, helpful or harmful?
I used it, helpful.
What's harder, sourcing or closing a candidate?
Sourcing.
What's one interview question you secretly hate asking?
Secretly hate asking. Oh my gosh, that's a great
I love every question that I ask because otherwise I wouldn't ask it.
I think it depends. If I don't feel that I built the trust in the process, I do secretly hate asking about what compensation do you need based on the role requirements in order to move forward with this.
So I ask it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
I frame it there too. AI interviews, yay or nay?
No.
Why?
So here's my thing.
Quick. Why?
Yes. We always think about it from the company advantage point. We don't think about it from the candidate advantage point. We think this is just one for us, but it could be 50, 100, 150 for them. And if we're not providing feedback and giving them a value in return, we're exhausting them mentally and creating a heavy fatigue that we're not ready for on scale.
I completely agree with you that when using the AI interview tools, it has to be that two-way relationship that irrespective if you get the role or not, we're going to give you the feedback from that so you can use it.
100%.
You're giving us the time. There's a value pendulum. And last but not least,
Yes.
Heather Colvin is a hot dog a sandwich.
Sandwich.
You're here, folks.
We're here first.
Heather Colvin, where can folks find you? Where can they connect? Where can they learn more?
Yes, you can always follow me on LinkedIn. That's where I spend most of my time. I do hang out on X. I do like to do X Spaces. So if you're an X person, come see me there too. But yeah, LinkedIn, Heather Colvin, Smart Data. I have a baseball next to my name. Come find me.
There we go. Baseball next to your name. Why?
Yeah, so my passion in life is actually to run a youth sports fundamental program on mental health and neuroperformance. And so my son plays competitive tennis in a year and a half when he's done, and I can finally go pursue my dreams. I plan to get that launched. It's called The Other 99 Athletes. I plan to focus on the 99% and not the top 1%.
I love that. That's
Yes.
awesome. Doing good at work, outside of work. Heather Colvin, everybody.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? It's day 2 here at RecFest, and I thought, what better way to kick it off? My man, Mike, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm excited.
What are you excited about?
I don't know. It's just like nice here.
It's gorgeous.
I'm standing in the shade with you, which is very nice.
The weather, guys, has been delightful.
It's warm.
Well, it
That
kicks up in the
southern
sun, right? But when you're in the shade, it's not bad. So,
Yeah.
how's this conference been for you? Like, first of all, sorry, let's take a step back here. Tell everyone who you are and what you do now.
My name is Mike Peditto. I am a full-time content creator / author / podcast host / whatever pays bills.
You're a
Former
rock-
director of talent, real recruiter.
Right, you're a rock on tour, right? You're a man of the people, and what I love about you is how you've pivoted and how you've transformed yourself. What's been the hardest part of this change of seasons in your life, Mike?
Yeah. Honestly, the hardest part for me right now has been I like being a practitioner, right? Right now, I am not recruiting. And I know there's a limit to that because
Sold on this.
I
This is homage to Mike. If anybody follows this content, you'll get this.
I don't ever want to be that person who just talks about how I recruited 10 years ago and this is how we did things and like what we do.
Little pet peeve I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that going
You
on.
know what? I agree with you on that. If you you're pretty close to still being a practitioner. It's not like once removed. It is once removed.
Yeah. So that's the thing, because like even at an event like this, sometimes we're just like, okay, no, I don't really recruit right now. So I'm going to catch more of that. But that's been a transition. And then just figuring it out, right? You know what it's like. You go off on your own.
You have to test and learn.
Yeah.
You have to test and learn. And I think that's one thing. And you also have to be open to when you put yourself out there. you have to be open to criticism. You have to be open to the trolls because, listen, I've heard this before. I don't know if you agree with it. If you're getting trolled, it means you're doing something right.
Yes. Yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, because the worst thing that can happen if you make content is no engagement at all.
Right.
It just goes and nobody watches it, nobody comments, nobody cares. You know, that's how it works. You have to have that thick skin. I'm not a rise above it person. Right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, you rise above and you ignore it. I don't.
You choose violence.
I choose violence.
Mike chooses violence. But I mean, I was doing that for a while, and I found it wasn't good for my mental health.
Yes, my mental health is not good.
Oh, this is serious. We're coming upon like, mental health awareness.
It can be tough. It can weigh on you. So to me, I think there's two levels. There's the like personal level attacks.
Like a personal attack.
And that is like, I'm not messing with that. I'll block that person. We're done.
They're just a mean-spirited keyboard warrior.
Yeah, the like trying to like insult like my wife or like a child or just like whatever else.
That's not cool.
But then there is the like, oh, in 6 months you're going to be irrelevant, which is like a favorite quote of mine because I bookmarked it. And I called that quote out in my book. And the day the book was released, I tagged that person in a video.
Smart.
And I was like, today is whatever day it was. I was like, today is day 724 since you wrote that comment. This book just went #1.
I'm still more than relevant.
Yeah. So those comments like I engage with because I'm like, whatever, I'll battle you about like if this is good or not, but I won't battle you about like who I am.
Insults.
Yeah.
You're not gonna work there. Let's talk about the book. Give it a plug here.
Yeah. The book.
Where is it?
I'm not carrying it around. It's in my backpack.
This is the first time in the last 3 months that Mike does not have the book on him, folks.
I usually have the book everywhere I go to take pictures and do everything. The book is called Yes, You're Being Judged. It is a realist guide to job searching. It is written from the perspective of somebody who has been like on the job market within the last few years, built hiring processes at companies, and seen all the things that happen.
It's a full 360.
Yeah, it's the full kind of like I tell stories of my real job search in it, and then also tell stories of what I was doing on the other side. So there's like one of my favorite examples in the book is like I show during one of my unemployment spirals this full email chain that I was sending to a hiring manager for this job I was like desperate for. And it's like 17 emails over like a 9-day span.
Unbelievable.
And like at the end, I was just like, I didn't get this job. And like none of you reading this would give me the job. Like you all think this is pathetic, but you're also probably doing this.
We're all guilty, guilty as charged.
Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself in the process of writing this book? Is it cathartic?
Yeah.
Stressful?
It wasn't stressful, and I think what made it not stressful was, it's independently done, right? We just like did it like through Purple Acorn Press, right, and through friends, and like there was no deadline.
There was no like publisher being like, where is it?
Yeah, so I never felt stress. When I wanted to write, I wrote, and when I didn't, I'd go a week at a time without touching it. And I would think of something in the middle of the night and write it in my like notepad that I wanted to make sure to put in there. But yeah, it was cathartic because I thought back through like good and bad moments from my career and lessons I learned, and thought about
you're revisiting them, and it's also paying it forward.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been through it before, and it's an interesting perspective because everyone around us here, even though they work in TA and HR, they've had to apply for their jobs. They were candidates.
Yes.
So you would only hope that they would want the best experience, but that's not always the case. And I can't always fault the individual recruiter. I think you have to go up the food chain a bit, and obviously look at leadership.
Yes.
Right? If hiring is not a priority in your company, that's going to waterfall down. It's not even going to trickle down. If they don't give a shit, why should the recruiter give a shit?
And that's
really what it is. And when you make people your priority, and it's not just lip service, and you're not just talking about it, that is part of culture that attracts talent.
Mm-hmm.
So, walking around over here, you don't have to call out any tech by name. Anything is really impressive from we've been waiting for this. That's not AI. I know we're waiting for the Kona Ice. We've been waiting for the pizza absurd truck over there.
Looking at the food trucks, I'm like, they're doing a great job.
They're crushing it.
Yeah. The tools that I'm impressed by as I walk around are the tools that were very clearly built by or heavily touched by practitioners and people who get it. Like I don't know what I'm waiting for tech-wise because they're coming and we'll see what works and what isn't good. But I can tell in like a minute in talking to a company if this was built by like some tech bro who has no idea about hiring, or built by someone who like was in the trenches for 10 years and is trying to help fix something.
Exactly.
And those are the technologies I'm like, yes, I hope you succeed. How do I help you?
No, that's a great perspective. Mike, leave us with one pro tip for any aspiring creators out there to help them stretch their creative limits, get over some fears of trying new things.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like the cliche or not is like to just keep doing it. Actually, the best advice I can give, because I got asked recently, like how I like built an audience or like chased an audience. And I was like, I didn't. Like I put things out there that I wanted to put out, and the right people who enjoyed it
You attracted to the
found me. Right, I never once went after it, and I still always am. People are like, you're so humble about your following or whatever. It's like because it's still surprising to me. I never once had an intention of like I'm going to become an influencer. I'm going to get followers. I literally just they kept coming to me as I was talking about. I want to talk. So like, be you. Don't worry about the numbers and the views and whoever
They're
you
just
put it
numbers.
out there. And the right people that you want will attract, and they are the ones that are going to help you grow in the way you want to grow, not the ones you just like go chase after and beg to follow you.
Sage advice from Mike Peditto. Mike, where can folks find you? Where can they connect? Where can they learn more?
You can find me LinkedIn, Mike Peditto, LinkedIn/M Peditto, and all over social media is Realistic Recruiting on Instagram and TikTok and everywhere else.
Awesome. Mike, thank you so
And
much.
MikePeditto.com.
Thanks for joining us. Let's do the official podcast selfie.
Yeah.
Hold that mic up. I'm going to hold this. It's going to be great.